questions after intro, which will also be 1 minute to respond. Ms. Wendy Brooks.
I am Winter Brooks, your District 1 School Board member, where I also serve as president. I'm a proud graduate of the Alabama State University. I have a daughter, a graduate of Lanett City Schools, and also Jacksonville State University. Now retired as a federal probation officer. I have 2 grandchildren. One recently graduated from Georgia State University. Grandson playing football at Carson Newman University in Roxborough, Tennessee. I'm about educating students. I have served Lanett City School on the local, state, and national level. I have served as the District 4 Director, 2 consecutive terms, went on to serve as Vice President and President of the Alabama Association of School Boards in Montgomery, Alabama. I was recently awarded the All-State School Board member in December 2024. This is the highest honor a school board member can achieve as a member of their leadership ability.
Stand up. I want you to stand up.
Yes, thank you.
Hello, my name is Myron Fingers. I'm a native of the West Shawna community. I'm a very, very recent retiree in the public school system with 31 years as a classroom teacher. I am asking for your vote for District 2 School Board on Lanett City School. My mantra is, and it's kind of strange right now because I'm being trained and I'm running for my position. I've been on the school board only 7 months, and I took the place of the late Mrs. Katie Walton. But my platform is learning my job as governor, because that's what we do as a school board, and also what we do should lead back to teaching and student achievement. Thank you very much.
Shamia Lancaster.
Shamaya.
Shamaya, thank you.
Hi, I'm Shamaya Lancaster Morgan, and I'm running for District 2 for Lanett City School Board. And I am happily married for 15 years to a wonderful husband. I have 2 bonus children, and I'm running on being a catalyst for change. Because in order to see something new, you gotta be something new. And in order to have that change, you gotta have that spark. And we gotta have that spark because our youth is what's here. And you have to be in their lives and know what they need and what has to happen for them to keep Lanett the way we want Lanett to be. And that's me.
Hello everyone, my name is Leilani Rudd and I am your candidate for District 3 School Board. I am a native of Lanett, Alabama. I graduated from Lanett High School in 1999. Both my children did as well. They definitely would tell you that I know what it takes and they would to produce a student, of course, that is focused on education. My daughter was number 3 in her class, and my son was a 2024 valedictorian at Lanett High School. I am a current educator, so I'm on the front lines of education day in and day out. So I get to see everything, and I have been in the realm of education on every platform, from elementary to high school, and also Southern Union State Community College, where I was an adjunct professor there as well. For me, my goal and my platform, I want to empower teachers, I want to inspire students, and I want to make sure that Lanett City Schools is a launch pad for lifelong success, not just immediate success in the moment. Thank you.
All right.
Hello, my name is Johnny Wood, and I'm the current school board representative for District 3. I took Mr. Edmonds' position when appointed by the current school board with his untimely passing. In that time, I've learned what it is to be a school board member. I've been doing some training, went to all the workshops, and I think I've got what it takes to represent the district well. Just to tell you a bit about myself, I'm married to Carrie Wood, the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, and have 2 children and 1 grandchild. I am currently retired from the police department. I was with Lanett Police Department for over 25 years, with 30 years of service. I then come back and join Lanett as recovery enforcement officer, and I've been serving that capacity for the past 3 years. And I'll get into more about what we want to do on the school board. Next question.
2004, moved here from North Carolina back in 1998. I have two kids, a 17-year-old and an 8-year-old. I am very active in my kids' life. For as the PTSA board, I'm the president on the PTS board, because I technically truly believe that kids are our future. Technically, you have to get your hands dirty. You just can't sit back and just look. You have to get out there in the community to technically know what the kids need and what's going on. So with my endeavors here on the Board of Education, I attempt to technically to get my hands dirty. I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to get out in the community to see what's going on and technically help the kids out in the community.
Hello, friends. My name is Gail Holly, and I am your District 5 school board member. I serve as vice president. I have been on the board for 21 years. I have lived here all my life. I grew up the hill on Jackson Hill across the street from the water tank. So many of you I have known all my life. I married in Holly right out of high school. I went to Southern Union State. It was junior college back then. I had two children. I had Chris and Lindsay. Chris went to Temple Christian School and works for the city of Lanett, and he loved his job. My daughter Lindsay graduated from Lanett High School, class of 2002, and she works for the Chattahoochee Credit Union. I have an older granddaughter that graduated from Lanett in 2015. So as you can see, we are a Panther family. I am here for the students of this school. I worked for Southern Union College for 25 years, retired in 2021, so I'm all about education. I know what it takes because I work in the library. Thank you.
I'm David Gagnon. I'm running for candidate for District 4. And I didn't grow up here. But my wife did, my children did, but I've been here for 47 years. So that's quite a while. So I've gotten to know a lot of people here. I know most of you out there. My father-in-law is the director of recreation. My mother-in-law had the Adcock stores. My boys all graduated from that. One was at City Victoria 1 year. He's now a pastor in Boston. I myself, I worked at West Point Pepperell Engineering. I was an electrical engineer there and worked there for many years. And during the layoffs of '89, they asked the group I was in not to leave, and we started a company and bought an engineering building and continued doing electrical work for them for another 16 years. And that was short-lived.
Okay, now we will move into the questions for the school board candidates, and we'll start on the end for the first question. How do you plan to represent the interests of the community when key leadership like the superintendent is not directly chosen by the people?
Okay, I'm trying to get my mic. What was your question again?
How do you plan to represent the interests of the community when key leadership like the superintendent is not directly chosen by the people?
That is a problem that Alabama is discussing now. They are leaning more toward elected superintendents, superintendents that are hired by the board instead of by the community, because the community don't really know a lot about the procedures or policy of school board. If you go with an elected superintendent, then anybody that's not in education or don't have an education background could apply for the job and possibly get it if they are voted and popular by the people. But if the superintendent is elected by the board at hand, then they'll have more knowledge about what that person is about.
Would you read that question?
How do you plan to represent the interests of the community when key leadership like the superintendent is not directly chosen by the people?
Okay, my representation will be done in order, in line with the board, the AASB, Alabama Association of School Boards. That board shows us how we should respond and answer to any problem if it's a problem. If we follow that leadership, we are able to meet any challenge that's going on, whether your superintendent is elected or your superintendent is voted in by the community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shemaya, and I'm running for District 2. And for me, it's simple. You gotta connect and collaborate. It doesn't matter if they're voted by the people or by the school board's job, still has to get done. So if they have that goal in mind, that we have to collaborate with the people, with the teachers, with the parents, with the kids, it all has to come full circle either way around. So as long as we collaborate and make sure everybody knows what's going on and keep complete transparency. Because they have to know what's happening, what's going on, and why it's happening. So if they understand that, then it can easily be passed on and it can work. But we first have to make it work.
So, I feel like I would definitely be a good representative because holding a seat on the board, you have to make sure that you are governed by the rules and the laws set forth by the State Board of Education, of course. So if we are adhering to that, we also need to listen to our community. So whether that's hosting community nights, getting input from the parents, because their children are the ones that are in the school. So we need to listen to them as well. The board is supposed to be a bridge between the school system and the community. So that would be my task, of course. Listening to the community and taking that back to my counterparts and adhering to all the laws and the rules and regulations that are set forth by the State Department. Thank you.
Hi, Johnny Wood, District 3. I wanted to answer your question. In essence, the superintendent is elected. They're elected by the board in representation of the board. We have to maintain a constant back and forth with our district so we know what our district wants for representation. Having those conversations will make you be knowledgeable on how to appoint the superintendent. One thing that is a bonus to having an appointed superintendent by the board is if that superintendent is elected, you're stuck with that individual regardless of what their policies are for the length of the term. Whereas if they're appointed by the board is able to evaluate that superintendent on a monthly basis as to whether those goals are being met, and the superintendent can be removed by our board.
How do you plan to represent the interests of the community when key leadership like the superintendent is not directly eligible?
To me personally, unorthodox. For me personally, the citizens should actually have a thought or say on that. But to me, technically, a lot of the citizens kids go to school. So sometimes a lot of the citizens, they really don't have input when it comes to some of the things that are going on in the school district. So also, like I stated, I think that they should have a say so over who get elected, because technically the person that who's over the school board, they are the ones that, make decisions or whatever, but I think the community needs to have their input on it. So basically, I said, I think they should have input on it, because at the end of the day, like, we all be on different pages, but we all need to come together to have the same outlook of what the community needs, what the kids need in the school district, to make the school better. That's all I have to say.
I'm Gail Holly, and I'm your District 5 representative. I think we have the best superintendent that we could possibly get. And as I've said before, I want to be your voice on the school board. I listen to what people say in my district, and I take everything to heart, and I go to Ms. Boyd and I talk to her about all this stuff. And I tell her, this is what I've heard when I've been out campaigning. See, people want this, they want this, or they want that, and she'll give me an answer. And I'll go back and say, hey, because one of the things I've heard was about uniforms. And I think it's too late, close to the school year, to do anything about that. But I have taken all your concerns that people have told me as I've been out campaigning. I have talked to Ms. Boyd. She listens very carefully. She doesn't just make a rash decision. she decides prayerfully over what she's going to do, and the board all talks about this. And this is something we need to know because, you know, if you get an elected superintendent, when Harris is right, you can get just anybody. Maybe they really don't care about the school system. Thank you.
David Gagnon, District 4. One reality check here is that the superintendent can only bring things to us. We can't bring anything to the board itself. So she's in charge. So we elect the superintendent, but we can do away with the superintendent. So behind the scenes, I discuss things with the superintendent, I discuss things with others, but in the end, the superintendent can bring anything to the board that she wants to, but we can vote it down. One of the cases, when Dr. Lee was here, she was trying to do away with the junior ROTC, and we sort of had two going one way and two going the other, and I was a swing vote. So behind the scenes, I'm talking to Dr. Lee, and I say, you know, whichever way I go, you're gonna feel it. So we kept the junior ROTC with a lot of people there to hear what was going on. So that's how it all works.
So Mr. Gagnon, I'm going to start with you for question number 2 since you're standing. Our district continues to lose high-quality teachers year after year. What specific strategies would you implement to improve teacher retention and morale?
Well, teacher retention is a trouble for every school system. It's just not us. So for some teachers, it's a revolving door of trying to find out what school system do they like the most. And for us, we've lost some that have just retired, so that's when Johnny's lost that. And we're getting good teachers that don't have degrees, but they're taking the practices and trying to get certified so they can teach. So this board and her staff are hunting for the best staff they can get. And this is all for benefiting the kids.
I do think Ms. Boyd and her staff, they go after the best teachers, they really do. Some of the people that come to Lanett, they're fresh out of high school, they're fresh out of college, they're just looking for their first job. Sometimes they come to Lanett and they get started, and then on down the road they realize, well, hey, I can go somewhere else and make a little bit more money. I think we need to take all that into consideration. And we also need to take into consideration a lot of the teachers that we get, maybe they don't necessarily live here, they live in Columbus or Auburn or Opelika, and the job comes open where they live, and they say, well, I'd like to take that job because I'll be closer to home and closer to my family. And I wish we had more people in the area that live closer by that would come and apply for a job at Lanett. Maybe they would, you know, they grew up here, maybe they would stay and they would teach a little longer. And that's what I think.
I think one of the things that will have to happen is for is pay, because a lot of teachers do not make that much money. Other than pay, I know pay is something that like to be done with, but the pay needs to be increased. So teachers do go through a lot. They have to bear a lot when it comes to kids in school, and also it comes where that when they do their recruitment, basically, I know like she stated that a lot of teachers who come out of school, come out of high school or college fresh. So basically, they would need support. Maybe create some kind of program where they can have support to raise them to be the best they can be. To see what they're lacking in, see how can we improve their skills to technically teach our kids better. But for me, technically, they need the support because we technically don't have teachers like we used to have back in the day. And the reason why I said it was a lot of stipulations that took a lot of school where teachers can't teach the way they need to teach nowadays. So basically, I think the pay needs to be increased and the teachers need support.
County Rupert. Well, it's like every other profession. I think a lot of it goes to our culture. We as a society are not recognizing the teachers as we recognize our teachers as being authority and figures in our lives. The profession has not gotten as many people I agree with you. I think pay needs to go up. If that ever came up in front of me, I'd be glad to give the teachers raises. I think they deserve it. They, along with parents, they show the most of the responsibility and development. Like by third and fourth grade, the kids are on the right path and they're in trouble. So paying and having more teachers is when we need to go. Also, maybe next time.
Hello, my name is Kathy Grady. Speaking as a current teacher, teacher burnout and lack of support in the classroom is definitely one thing that leads to teacher retention and turnover. So maybe creating a teacher advisory committee so the teachers feel like they have a say-so, and maybe taking that back to one of the members on the Board of Education. I feel like that would help also. Also, making sure that relevant professional developments are implemented. Because I can't tell you how many times I said professional development, and my coworkers and I go, what are they talking about? So making sure that we are getting, the teachers or educators are getting relevant professional development to help them in the classroom, to keep the kids engaged, to make sure that that rigor and relevance is there so we can increase our academic achievement. So that's where we will see the growth in the classroom, of course. Thank you.
Again, I'm Shemaya Morgan, and to me, and it's ironic because I've been discussing this as I've been researching, and I'm a big researcher, so it's just part of my nerd part of me. But the lack of support and lack of respect. When I was in school, respect, it was demanded. I had to respect my teachers when I respected my parents. It wasn't an option. And now we have an option. We didn't have that option. So if we show them that we have their backs, no matter what it is, then it works. So that the lack of support, that she said, the wages, the respect, and if we want them to remain here, we have to give them something to want to be here for. It can't just be a job to them. And a lot of them see that it says a job is not real. It's not important enough to want to stay. So make them want to be here. Love them like they are ours. Because if we are the man, treat them like they're on the man. And that's it.
There's a problem all over the United States and everywhere, like teachers. Teachers my age, they're going home. And the younger teachers, they're not staying in the classroom for what we put up with. So you have to come up with a method to make it attractive. Student, go back to giving them a student aid, or a teacher aid, someone to help them with small groups. Also, help them with the discipline. Discipline is something that now that these younger teachers are not putting up with. Also, the paperwork that you have to finish. You can't get it done. Make it that way you can get it done in a day where you don't have to take it home. Also, come up with a way to give incentives, raises. I know raises, most of the only can come from the state of Alabama, but maybe there's some type of resources that we can secure to give our teachers. And then pay for them to get advanced degrees. That will help them to get more money. Thank you.
Again, it's the same old song. Shortage of teachers is everywhere. At Lanett, we look for teachers and we get great teachers. We have a very, very good training program where we train teachers for professional development. But when you got Auburn University, Point University, LaGrange College, you got husbands and wives that are there going to school. One is finished and the other one is in school. They come to us, they do their 3 years, they get the best professional development, and then when they are asked to go somewhere else, they got a very good record, they're gone. And what we have to do, along with the state and the city, is to try to form programs that we can have to help keep our students, keep our teachers and parents. When I was in school a long, long time ago, parents, if a teacher calls your parent, you were in trouble. Now, if a teacher,
Lanett, you're a school board candidate.